business is the same. When you are in front of a group of people who depends on your decisions, you can make good decisions when you're under stress. You need to put your attention in the present moment. And the most important is the certainty of what you can do.
Welcome to the My Future Business Show, where we get you in front of your best audience and keep you there. Not only are we interviewing the biggest names in business to help you become even more successful, we're inviting you to book your spot on the show to help you grow your business. So at the end of the call, make sure you fill in the interview application form at myfuturebusiness.com/interviews. Hi, and welcome back to the My Future Business Show, the show that gets you in front of your best audience and keeps you there. My name is Rick Nuske. I'm your host, and I've been receiving some wonderful feedback. Thank you so very much. It's so inspiring, and it keeps me so motivated to bring you wonderful guests like today. I'm on the line with Alvaro Garcia-Sanchez. Welcome to the show, Alvaro.
Thanks so much for having me.
Not a problem at all, Alvaro. Now, on today's call, we're going to be spending some time talking with Alvaro about how the mind works under stress, mindset versus mental blocks towards success, and personalities in business. But before we do any of that, Alvaro, it's customary for us to learn a little bit about you. So I wonder if we could start off by learning about where you're located in this big, wide, wonderful world. Where's home for you?
Well, I started... when I was a kid, I born with ADD, I born with a lot of obesity, and then I started to think something's wrong with me, and I started to find out what is going on with me, and then what I start to do is to find the ways to change my mind. And then since that moment, I started to look for answers because I was very curious. I tried to see always the reason the things happen, and I was asking questions all the time. I get in troubles like everybody else when they ask questions, but I get some answers, and I start to study a lot. I start to do the most I can, and I finished coaching gymnastics, track and field, and a lot of sports at the elite level. That's what I was doing all my life.
Fantastic. Now, so where are you in the world? Where do you live?
Well, I live here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Fantastic. And what is it about Atlanta, Georgia that you like the most? Have you lived there for a long time?
Yes, I have probably 15 years. What I like is the peace. The peace here is very slow life. And then give me the opportunity to prepare everything and to study more.
So what do you like to do as time goes by? Do you have any particular hobbies that you enjoy doing? Are you a sports person? What do you like to do?
Yes, I'm a sport person since kid to work with my obesity. I started to do sports and then still doing it.
Still doing it. Yeah, fantastic. Now, do you, we have a big problem, I would think. I'm not a medical practitioner by any stretch, Alvaro, but in terms of obesity, we've got a lot of people in society that are obese. What do you say to people like that? Is there an opportunity for them to turn their lives around, do you think?
Well, 50% is the mind and 50% is the guts.
Right.
The microbiome is the problem. The obesity comes because the way you think. Sometimes it's because you have some guilt inside, and then the microbiome respond to that, to all the stress.
Yeah.
Majority of the time, it's stress. And obviously, bad nutrition, plus a lot of exercises, sitting in the chair all day long, and never stop to eat. This is a major problem. But it's solutions. For everything, solutions.
Yeah.
But all is in the mind. All is in the mind.
We have a lot of things going on in the world, Alvaro. A lot of trauma, a lot of fighting, a lot of stressful sources of information. What do you say to people in terms of being on their mobile phones or on their computers and watching news feeds all the time? Do you think that's healthy?
Well, the world is upside down right now because, in life we have ups and downs.
Yep.
And we're in the down, and we need to learn the new standards we have. The new standards change, and the people is not happy with the new standards because they was in the comfort zone, and now they are not in the comfort zone. Everybody's angry. putting guilt on other people for what happened to their lives. But we are in charge of our lives. And the only person who can make you happy is yourself.
Yeah.
Know the situation, know what happened to you, know a lot of money, is yourself.
I look at people's routines because we have a lot of entrepreneurs, we have book authors, we have business owners on the show, Alvaro, and I love to share people's lives in terms of what they do each day. Could you share with us what your daily routine looks like in terms of, reducing your levels of stress and looking after your body?
Number one, drink a lot of water.
Water.
It's number one for the stress. If you drink energy drinks or sodas or something with sugar, that increase the stress. If you drink water, that decreases the stress because it cleans your body. The other thing, very important thing, is to stretch. In the moment you stretch, you need to put all your attention in your muscles in the present moment. And that makes like a reset in your brain.
Yes.
You don't know how to stretch, you can look for videos how to stretch, and you will see the people start to be more calm. And the last part to deal with stress is eat good food, not just for impulse.
Do you give any weight to meditation or just being quiet at all?
Yes, I use a lot of meditation because everybody think that meditate is stop in a room and think about nothing. You can meditate even when you are walking. Usually you meditate when you are driving, and that's why sometimes you was driving and you turn your face, oh, how can I get here?
Yeah, I've noticed that. I've done that.
Yeah, and this because your conscious mind was disconnected and your subconscious mind take over the driving and everything, and your conscious mind was busy with the idea you have. This is partial hypnosis.
Right.
This is part of the hypnosis. When you are reading a book, it's exactly the same. But this is what stopped the stress. The other thing is where you put your attention.
Yeah.
Because if you pay your attention in what you think creates the problem, you increase the problem.
You bring about what you think about.
Yes, an emotion cannot long last more than 60 to 90 seconds. Never. If you are in a state of negative emotion, like angry or frustrated or anxiety, it's because you remind yourself the same emotion. Then what you need to do is change your focus in another thing.
I hear a lot of this idea of, I'm negatively motivated, Alvaro. What happens if I have a mindset and I'm always negatively motivated? Can I unlearn that behavior, and where do I start?
Well, all the problems you have inside your mind start since your childhood.
Yeah.
And the internal programming is created for the environment and what you accept. Everybody think and believe that everybody learn for the things they hear from the news, from the parents, from the teachers, but it's not true. I discovered over the years that we learn for assumptions. That's why the same family with the same values, with the same life, have a good kid, a bad kid, and another who is lost.
Yeah.
Because the perception of what happened in your life give you an interpretation. And that interpretation is to create stress. What values you have. And then all that is the assumptions you get into the game you are.
Do you think there's do you think there's a place for positive stress? Is there such a thing?
Yes. In sports, we have that. If you don't have stress to go to compete, you don't win. You need to have stress. But you need to learn how to distress, change, and jump from negative stress to excitement. Because excitement is stress, exactly the same symptoms.
Yeah.
But you learn how to control your mind in order to get the excitement instead to get the negative stress who stop all the abilities you have. And then business is the same. When you are in front of a group of people who depends on your decisions, You can make good decisions when you're under stress. You need to put your attention in the present moment, and the most important is like a certainty of what you can do. You need to trust yourself. You need to believe yourself.
Now, I'd like to talk about your entrepreneurial experiences yourself, Alvaro. You are the owner of Kelbren Wellness. Where did that come about?
Well, Kelbren Wellness is to help people to deal with the stress. And I start with a program who is ADD for athletes. This is my first program I start to make. And Kelbren Wellness is helping people to control their minds. It's a process because everybody go to the psychologist, go to the counselor, and they feel good. But they feel good just for half an hour.
Yeah, sure.
Just for an hour. And then after that session they have, they feel good. And they say, I will do this one, I will do that one. And then when they get out, 2 hours later, all disappear. This program is to help you every day, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. That creating new programs. And I create another workbook who is called Quantum Books. The Quantum Books, what it does is to change the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind just works with symbols, colors, and codes. They don't have words at all. And then the only way to change the subconscious mind is by 3 ways. Number 1, by impression. When you get a big impression. Number 2, when you have repetition. Or number 3, by suggestibility. These quantum books use the 3.
Fantastic.
The 3 aspects.
Now, you have a series of books, which I'd like to touch on a little bit later on in the program. But if I could, Alvaro, I'd love to talk about the importance of ongoing learning and mentors. Tell us a little bit about your experience with mentors and how important they were for you.
The most important in a mentor is that you as a student, you choose the correct mentor. Because we was looking for the mentor who has success. But we don't have the same abilities that mentor has. Yeah. And then the mentor try to give you the concentration, all the ideas, how to develop your abilities as a human or as an athlete. And then it's very important, the trust between both.
Yeah.
One need to have a lot of trust into the other. And the other thing need to be consistent and not just by interest. Because the process is the most important. It's not the ending product. Yeah. If you enjoy the process when a mentor is teaching you, is helping you to do things, and then you get all the best from the mentor.
They're the results you're looking for, absolutely. Now, if we go back in some time, you studied engineering, but you found that wasn't where your passion was. Talk to us about that.
It helped me a lot. Because engineering, you need to do certain patterns. You need to see the soil, how much resistance the soil has, the materials, you do your blueprints. And in sports, basically, I start to transfer all that to sports. Coaches usually coach by inspiration. The humanity works by inspiration. And they don't give you the best results. When you have a plan, when you have an outcome, is when you get the best results.
Yeah, I was looking through your bio, and you were 15 years old when you found a gentleman called Zovek, and he taught you self-hypnosis. Tell us about that experience, and is that something that's easy to learn?
I was a little bit lost, and then I found this man called Zovek, and then Zovek was a showman. He do a lot of shows on TV, and then just I introduced myself, and I asked him if he can teach me something to be successful in my life, because I have no opportunity to be successful. Everybody rejects me. Nobody likes me. And I asked him, can you teach me something? And then he says, see right here. I will give you two advices. One, you need to learn how to breathe. That's the first lesson I get from him. You need to learn how to breathe. I said,
wow.
Well, I breathe every day. No problem.
I can do that.
Yes, use your breathe to control your mind. And number two, you need to learn how to accept yourself. And he said, wow, are you okay with me? Apparently no, because look at the body you have, look at the mind you have, and you're looking for advice. And then he started to teach me how to breathe. He started to teach me how to stretch. And when you stretch, where to put the mind? You see yoga people, the yoga people, when they start to do the exercise, looks like they are stretching only, but they are not stretching only. They put their mind in a specific place, in time, in space, and in the body, and that creates the results they want. I learned to do that with him. And then self-hypnosis is mostly like a self-concentration in one point. Like I was explaining you about driving,
yes.
You lose the concentration
yes.
about why you are driving. You put your concentration about another thing. Hypnosis is when your conscious mind is distracted. And then you open the gate and you go directly to the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind take over, and then it's when you start to get into the self-hypnosis. When you try to hypnotize somebody, you need to distract and disorganize the mind in order to penetrate into the subconscious mind. But when you do yourself, you need to do it exactly the opposite. You need to organize everything, and that gives you the opportunity to self-hypnosis.
Well, that's fascinating. I'm sure that takes some time to learn. Is that something, do you think, that most people could adopt?
Everybody do it. It's a natural state. It's a state of full concentration. But they cannot do it well.
Right.
They do it by accident. And then when you practice and practice and practice, yes, you get there. You get there.
Thank you very much.
Anybody can do it.
Yeah, this is wonderful. I'm taking so much away from the call, Alvaro. I know that you've written several books, including The Mentality of the Competitive Athlete, Personality or Identity, New Theory of the Mind, and Quantum Books, and probably more. What is it like for you to write? Because I have a very special place on the show for authors, because I know it takes a certain type of person to actually write a book.
When I started in my life, I learned to read when I was probably like a 9. I couldn't read.
Oh, wow.
And then I tried to use different methods because I failed the grades. It was bad in the school. And somebody told me, you're stupid. And now they call you're ADD. You don't have concentration. And then in those years, I feel bad. But I think when I start to solve all those problems I have, I want to express that experiences to the world. And I love to write poems. Since I was a kid, I was very romantic. And all the people who remember me from those years, they had letters from me. And then I started to put all together. And then I started to see physical evidence of what you are thinking is a lot better than just a video or just something talking with another person. And then I started to write in a book. I started to put them to fill out some parts. And this is the way I start to write things to help other people.
I listen to you and I think to myself, you've learnt the principles of hypnosis through your wonderful mentor, Zovek. And I wonder, in terms of being diagnosed, was it a diagnosis of ADHD?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Were you able to use the principles of self-hypnosis to assist yourself to, manage ADHD?
Yes, it's what I use, and still I need to use it. Because if I don't concentrate my ideas in one point, the problem with ADD, ADHD is like your mind fly everywhere.
Yeah.
And then just one person put the attention in one of the senses. If you are paying attention to what you see, and then you put a big percentage in what you are watching, and another percentage in what you are hearing, and another percentage minimum into what you feel. And with ADHD, you need to have all at the same time. You feel, you hear, and you see at the same level.
Overwhelming. That would be overwhelming.
It's overwhelming. You think when you start to learn to prioritize in where is more important, to see, to hear, or to feel. Yeah, and then it's when you start to organize everything, and hypnosis helps you for that.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I'm glad that it's able to help you. Hopefully it will help some other people that are maybe experiencing this same life path. Now, Alvaro, I'm wondering if we could talk about your book, The Mentality of the Competitive Athlete. How long did that actually take you to write, and what is the content focus?
That was basically a contest. When I was young in those years, I see the contest. Write a book about something you love, and you will get money. When I start to write, my first intention was to get the money.
Yeah.
But when I lose that from my mind, because I get fascinated writing and expressing all what happened in the mentality of the athlete, the competitive athlete, I start to think, forget about the money. And then I start to write. And I start to put all together in a structure. And guess what? I won. Yep. And I get the money with not even wanting the money.
That's some sage advice. That's some sage advice here, isn't it? Because people are often motivated by money. Do you think that I guess the media nowadays, pushing you to get more, buy more, make more money? Do you think that they have a bit to be responsible for?
Media and society, most of the people think that if you have more, better car, better house, jewelry, and then you're worth more. And they don't try to explore inside you how much you're worth as a human. And then we start to monetize everything inside the society. And that's why the society is looking for power. Yeah. Because money is power, is control, is a standard of life. And people, because they don't love themselves, they don't accept themselves, they're looking for money. And then you will love me, and then you will accept me.
Yeah, it's an interesting day when you wake up and you realise that I'm enough just the way I am. I wonder, you talked about earlier, Alvaro, when you were 15, you were a bit lost. What would you say to a young adult growing up nowadays who feels the same way? Do you think that they should have hope in their heart?
Well, they need to think. Try to remember the worst moments of your life. Mm-hmm. In any age you have, if you are 15, probably when you was 12, you have a very bad moment. But you don't have that moment now. That moment passed. The problems you have right now will pass. Mm-hmm. Probably you will have another problems, but it depends on the decisions you make. If you make good decisions, you will go for the right way, and then you start to build up your body, build up your mind, and try to think, not all the branches have fruits. Sometimes it's just the branch. Use the branch and no fruit. And we are looking at any branch, a fruit. Sometimes you need to work and work and work until you get it.
Yeah, fantastic. That's some really sage advice for anybody who's listening to us on the show today. Now, do you have any more books in you, Alvaro? Are you currently writing? Is there any plans?
Yes, I start to make one who is the illness doesn't kill you. It's your mind who kills you.
That's a great title.
Yeah, I start to see how the pandemic affect everybody. Yeah. And mostly in their minds, not in their bodies.
Yeah, it's not situation, it's just the mindset, isn't it?
It's the mindset. And in the last book I write, I start to discover about personalities. This is all the perceptions you have in your life start with the personality you have.
Yeah.
The personality because the people think personality is the way you act. But we have two personalities, the core personality and the covert personality. The covert personality is the way you act. It's the cover. It's who you say you are. I'm a doctor. I'm an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. I have something. But the core personality is who really you are. It's all the power of mind in your subconscious mind. And those two personalities fight with two other personalities. It's the red personality and the blue personality. What is the blue personality? The blue personality, you see persons, people who are very shy in the corner. They are not extrovert.
Yeah.
They don't want to have control. And the other one is red. They talking with everybody. They try to connect with everybody. But every one of those two personalities try to compete inside your head to see which one is the dominant. And the dominant start to create your real identity. Not your personality, is your identity. Which personality? And you see in people, some of the people act like a blue personality, very, very shy in front of certain people, but they get home and they start to scream and be very dominant. And another ones are exactly the opposite. They go with the boss and they're very quiet.
It's funny, isn't it?
Personalities are fighting.
Yeah, it's funny. So every time you see somebody acting in a certain way, they may have another side to the story, you're saying?
Yes, always something is behind.
Oh, okay.
Always something is behind.
Well, that's wonderful. I'm wondering, you've got a long list of books and there's probably a lot of information to unpack here. I'm wondering if we can just quickly shift our conversation to one where people can get access to those books, Alvaro, but then also talk a little bit about, if you could please, kelbrenwellness.com. What are they going to find on your website?
In that website, you will see all the programs and my coaching too. If you want to be coached by me, you can find a place right there. You just click, you do your appointment, and I can coach you. What is important to coach you? Because sometimes the programs you have are exactly against all what you want. You try to make a good business, but like I tell you before, what is the main intention behind that? Money. Yeah. You will fail. Because the subconscious mind starts to think, I need money. And the subconscious mind, the only thing to process is no negatives. I don't want to be poor.
Yeah.
And then the subconscious mind just hear poor. The subconscious mind is very, very weird. It's like a genie. It's like a genie. You ask the genie something, but the genie need to know exactly the precise instructions in order to help you. That's the subconscious mind. And when you suffer stress, when you suffer ADD, even PTSD.
Yep.
My wife suffered PTSD.
Okay.
And then I helped her. Obviously, for her, I was the last person to hear, but I was the last resource. When she started to hear me, she started to heal.
That's wonderful. That's good news. I'm glad for that outcome. Now, I see that you have a long list of different information programs. Tell us a little bit about what people are actually going to find there in terms of all of the programs.
The most important for me is the stress.
Yeah.
Because this is the major problem you have in your life. All the others are the results of the stress. I start to see in my program, I have one program for the kids with ADHD. It's autism. The autism is something very extensive to explain, but really quick.
Yeah.
You need to educate those minds more fast than the others because they're like sponges, but they cannot communicate back with you. They understand everything what you says. You will find another program for kids with ADD or athletes, any athlete, any age.
Yep.
And I orientate them how to concentrate their attention, like I did, with self-hypnosis. And then it's a program with videos, mostly it's videos. They don't need to write nothing too much. But every night you need to go to sleep and put a recording. It's different recording in every session.
Mm-hmm.
They fill up the quantum books. The quantum books is who changes the subconscious mind. And 90 minutes before you sleep, everything what you leave before you sleep will be processed in the sleeping time.
Ah.
That's why it's important for me that they work before going to the bed.
Yep.
And then as soon as they finish, put the recording and sleep. The first time, they will hear probably the recording like 2 or 3 times. Need to be in the background, not very loud, very, very low. But as soon as pass like 2 weeks, you start to hear the music and gone. You sleep.
Like that. That's fantastic. Everybody needs a good night's sleep to refresh their subconscious mind, don't they? It's a credit to you, all of the things that you've been able to achieve, and now that you're coaching people to help them through their different traumas, ADHD, PTSD, everything else that we've spoken about today. And if you're on the call today and you think that you can get some value out of Alvaro's materials, make sure you visit kelbrenwellness.com. I'll be making sure that the links back to Alvaro and his wonderful work are available below this post, no matter where you see it. And with all that being said, Alvaro, thank you so very much for joining me on the My Future Business show today.
Thank you so much for having me. You have a wonderful week.
Thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed the call, then make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, share us with your friends, and book your spot on the show at myfuturebusiness.com/interviews. And if you're looking for solutions that will help grow your business, then visit myfuturebusiness.com/shop.